They're just waiting to see who wins because they are hoping that Joe Biden wins, Sleepy Joe. And if he wins, you know what's going to happen? China will own us. Our markets will crash. The 401ks will go down to practically nothing. Stocks will go down to practically nothing. Remember, stocks, these big companies, they're owned by millions of people that are carpenters and policemen and farmers and lots of other people. And they are the ones that benefit by having a good stock market, probably more than anybody else. But the 401ks, the stocks, the economy will be in a shambles.
Have you all been listening to Trump? I need you all to understand that this whole Peter pandemic, this whole plandemic, this whole panicdemic has all been a smokescreen. What they want to do is to control the people. Let's talk about defunding the police. Let's talk about defunding the police. Why would they want to defund the police?
Nobody will be safe in a Biden America, but Biden doesn't know what a Biden America is. If you ask him to define it, he wouldn't even know what it is, but other people do. And he will have radical people running that. He'll be choosing a vice president who, we'll see what that ends up being, but he'll be choosing somebody. But even that person won't have as much to do with running the country as you'd believe. Biden wants to defund the police. He wants to call the cops the enemy, which he did the other day, leaving every citizen at the mercy of a socialist mob, or a mob far worse than socialism was ever meant to be.
Because the police are detrimental to the existence of black people in America. If the police all went on strike tomorrow, it would be chaos and anarchy in the streets. If the police went on strike tomorrow, it would be Armageddon in the streets. Do you all realize that? Do you all realize what the plan is in defunding the police? If you defund the police, then society collapses, and that's what they want. Because they want to usher in a one world government. They want to control everything. They want to put these chips in you. They want to do all these things so that they have complete control over you. And on top of that, you won't be fully human anymore.
I'm fighting against this horrible situation. I'm fighting, and I'm fighting hard. We'll always stand with the incredible men and women of law enforcement. We will never, ever defund our police, okay? That I can tell you. We're not defunding police. What's going on here, Admiral, when you hear defund the police, you're probably saying that's a foreign language, right? So just a terrible thing, but it's... I assume this is going to be a fad. We'll call it a fad. I will never allow your sacred mission to be undermined or attacked in any way. I will not have open borders. We will not abolish the police, and we will not slash the budgets for our military, and we will not allow our country to be swamped with deadly drugs.
Remember when I told you all about the flu shot? I told you all this. I said they're going to push the flu shot this year, and just in California, the California university systems have made it mandatory for staff and students to get the flu shot. What did I tell you all? Last year, 150 million people took the flu shot. I said this year, it'll be closer to 250 million people. And I said, and watch what happens during this cold and flu season. We are going to have COVID-20. Again, it's all a setup.
The UC system now starting a new flu vaccination requirement for students, faculty, and staff. Officials say it's to lessen the burden on healthcare systems anticipating during the coming fall and winter from influenza and COVID-19.
What you all don't realize is that they have to inject this stuff into us. They have to inject this stuff to us, and they've been injecting stuff into us for a very long time. Some of this stuff has time release. Some of this stuff could be released by a signal. Some of this stuff could be released by, we don't know by what means. But we do know they have been injecting stuff in us for a long time. Not ingest. I'm talking about injecting something into your bloodstream, and they've been doing it for a very long time. We talked about chemtrails and the cloud. We talked about all this stuff going on, but you all are being deceived. Not even being deceived. You all are being distracted by the curtain of COVID-19. And this is why I've always called it a Peter pandemic. You see, they get us hung up on all these differences like race, religion, sexual orientation, because in the end, it's going to be simply good versus evil. I know you all can't see that far into the future. A lot of you all can, but it's going to be good versus evil. It's going to be humans versus mankind. It's going to be humans versus AI. This is the future. So I need you all to understand that all this racial stuff and all these social divisions are all planned so that we don't unite and go against the powers that be. So in the future, you being black or white or Hispanic or whatever you think you are, it's not going to matter. It's going to be good versus evil. I'm not telling you all that Trump is a morally upstanding person. I don't know anybody in politics that's a morally upstanding person. But what I will say is that how Trump is talking now is how JFK was talking. And if I ask you all why they killed JFK, you all will agree that they killed JFK because he was going to uncover people's eyes. He was going to try to dismantle these secret societies, these secret families, these people in these shadow people, this wickedness in high places. He was going to expose all of it, and they killed him. So when I hear Trump talking how he's trumping, it's eerily similar to John F. Kennedy. So I have to think, well, wait a minute. If they killed John F. Kennedy because he was going to reveal the truth to the people, then why would Trump's life be in danger? Trump's life would have to be in danger because he was going to do what? He was going to reveal the truth to the people.
Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States, successfully took control of the Federal Reserve Bank of the USA. Now, if you're jumping up and down saying, oh, it's not possible, I've never heard of it, it wasn't reported on, you'd be quite right. It was not reported on. Why was it not reported on? Because the same people that own the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States own all the other news media, and they would certainly not go out there with a big fanfare and news to say, oh, the Central Bank of the United States has just been taken over or nationalized by Donald J. Trump. So very few scat articles made it that Donald Trump brought the Fed into the Treasury Department of the United States, and that's news that was put out. But it's much, much bigger than that. The biggest central bank on earth, the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States, is now out of the hands of the Rothschild family. It is in full control under Donald Trump and his new 2IC to run the Fed for the United States, Larry Fink.
Many of you all will make this about what you see. And God gave us a great example because God said, you know what? I'm going to judge a person's heart. I'm going to look past all the exterior and I'm going to judge a person's heart. What is this person's intent? Stop looking at people on the outside and look at their intent. Everything that glitters is not gold. I mean, they put so much game in the movies, man. They put so much information in these movies. I keep telling you all the movies are real life and the media is entertainment. But they put so much stuff in these movies. I just want to ask you all, have you all been listening to Trump?
The Obama campaign spied on our campaign, and they've been caught, all right? And now let's see what happens to them. They've been caught red-handed. It's probably treason, but they used the intelligence agencies of our country to spy on my campaign. President Obama knew about it. Joe Biden knew about it. This was a setup like we've never seen. I think it's the political crime of the century.
You think these Democrats want Joe Biden on stage debating with Trump? No. These Democrats, the deep state, they want this thing shut down. They want this thing shut down. They want you all walking around with masks on, not talking to people, not gathering with people, not going to see your family, avoiding people, isolating yourself in your house, self-quarantining yourself. This is what they want. They want to take away your humanity. They don't want you to be human. And many of you all can't see it, but they don't want you to be human. Do you understand that? Start stocking up on your essentials, your canned goods, your water. Start stocking up on this stuff. I'm telling you right now, plan for a social and economic collapse. This is what they want. Plan for it. Be prepared and start eating better. Start getting rest. Start praying more, meditating, whatever you do. Start grounding. Start talking with God more. Start getting in touch with your spirit. Do all these things I've been telling you all to do, because in this time you need to be prepared. What you are going to need is going to be spiritual. It's going to be divine. Pray to God for some wisdom. Pray to God to see the truth. Pray to God that this stuff gets revealed to you. During these times, this is what we are going to need. It's going to be something that's bigger than us. We are going to need divine intervention to help us navigate through these times. Look at all these pedophiles getting locked up. Look at all these child molesters getting locked up. All these child rapists getting locked up. All these sex trafficking rings getting broken up. All these sex slave trade, human trafficking rings getting broken up. Look at all the stuff that's going on, and the media is not even talking about it. Why is the media not talking about it? Why is the media not celebrating the fact that child molesters are being locked up and pedophiles are being locked up and sex trafficking rings are being destroyed and children trafficking rings are being destroyed? Why is the media not celebrating it? I keep telling you all, it's all been a setup. It's all been a setup, and it's all been a lie. But the major problem about it all being a lie is that we believed it. 9/11 was the biggest pump fake, and we went for it. And let me ask you all a question. Since 9/11, did we ever go back to anything pre-9/11? No, we did not. So what do you think is going to happen after this whole COVID-19, COVID-20, Peter pandemic situation? We're not going back to normal, people. This is normal.
And I urge all Americans to continue to socially distance, wash your hands, wear a mask when you cannot avoid crowded places, and to protect the elderly. Very, very important. Protect the elderly. It's much different. Young children have very strong immune systems. We've learned how strong they are. But protect the elderly. The average age of those who succumb to the virus is 78 years old. That's the average age. It's important for all Americans to recognize that a permanent lockdown is not a viable path toward producing the result that you want, or certainly not a viable path forward, and would ultimately inflict more harm than it would prevent. As we're seeing in foreign countries around the world where cases are once again surging, you have many places where we thought they were under control and doing a great job, and they are doing a great job, but this is a very tough, invisible enemy. Lockdowns do not prevent infection in the future. They just don't.
I love you all. Don't be safe. Be great. Wait for it. Free Blanks. Get money. Go.